Yo, what is going on everybody? Shri Kanase here. So the 5 tips to get your Google Merchant Center approved. Now the reason why I'm even making this video is because recently I've come upon a lot of different individuals who are still struggling to get their Merchant Center accounts approved regardless of the things that they're doing. And this also includes paying somebody to have their Merchant Center account approved. Even that is not working for them in this case. And after having one of my own newly created Shopify stores get suspended and then reactivated again for the Merchant Center, I've come up with 5 different tips for you guys which you can use right away to increase your chances of getting approved. Now, a key note before anybody comes into the comment section and says that
even though I followed every single thing on your video, my Merchant Center is still disapproved, you're a scam, you're a fraud.
Hear me out. These 5 tips which I'm about to give you guys are only designed to improve your chances of getting approved. It does not mean that it is going to be guaranteed for you to get approved. Use these tips with caution. But without wasting any more time, let's just get right into it. The first thing you'll have to do in order to find any type of success with these 5 tips, however, is to destroy that like button until it turns blue. I promise, just gonna take 2 quick seconds, faster than how much it would take you to apply these tips. Okay, hopefully you have destroyed the like button down below. But tip number 1, and that is upload products from your own home, not from any online website. Now, what do I mean by this exactly? With some of my own Google Ads mentoring students, and by the way, I am still offering one-on-one Google Ads mentoring. If you're interested in that, send me a message on Instagram at @DedicatedYoung or leave a comment down below and I'll reply to you with more information regarding the one-on-one Google Ads mentoring. I've started to see more success with my students getting their Merchant Center accounts approved if they go within their homes, take photos of items within their home, and then upload those to their Shopify store as if they were selling it, rather than going on AliExpress, rather than going on eBay to directly add to their store like you normally would. And this is one of the biggest game changers I've personally noticed. And all you have to do here is basically go around your house. If you see a chair somewhere, or if you see a painting or whatever that you see within your own home, which is not really a branded product, you can put it on your Shopify store by taking custom photos, meaning photos with your phone, and uploading them directly onto your Shopify store. And no, this does not mean that you have to become a professional photographer or hire somebody to take photos for you. Simply lay it down on a flat surface on a plain background and upload the photo and the product to your website as if you were selling it. I just recently had a call with a mentoring student today who was able to actually get their Merchant Center approved and their Google Ads account approved through this method, and there's other students as well who have been able to achieve this with custom photos and custom products. So simply go within your home, look around for products and put them on your store. It can literally be a rock. As long as you take good photos of that rock, give it a fancy name, it should be good to go as long as it is not a branded product. But in addition to that, when it comes to actually writing the descriptions for these products, and by the way, when I say products, I mean add about 5 to 15 different products of these kind to your Shopify store for best chances of getting approved. For the descriptions for these products, first of all, you want to write a normal description, maybe a 100-word description describing the product, maybe just add specifications or something like that. But at the very end, add these 2 sections for every single product. First things first, our guarantee section. This should talk about some kind of guarantee which you are offering your customers. Number 2, offer the shipping times. And in this case, I recommend putting in that you do deliver within 2 to 10 business days. Of course, we're not really going to be selling these products, but for the purpose of getting our Merchant Center, of getting our Google Ads account approved, we do need to write 2 to 10 business days. But that is tip number 1, and that could really change your results that you're getting with your approval for the Merchant Center. Let's move on to tip number 2, and that is related to the policy pages. This is one of the most overlooked section of any Shopify store, and this is also one of the main reasons why a lot of people get suspended with Google Ads or Google Merchant Center, and that is because they have not properly set up their policy pages. You want to know that all policy pages need to have the same data, and all of that data needs to be edited. What do I mean by this exactly? If you say the shipping time is 2 to 10 business days on your product description, it should be saying 2 to 10 business days on the shipping policy. It should say the same thing on the return policy or wherever else you decide to mention that. If on one page it says 2 to 10, on another it says 7 to 15, that is going to be known as misrepresentation. That is an easy way to not get approved for the Google Merchant Center account. So that is how you kind of avoid that. Basically edit the policy pages and make sure the information is fully matching on every single page. But in addition, a lot of these policy pages actually have special brackets where you're allowed to go in and edit that information and actually Shopify requires that you go in and edit that information, maybe add in your store's URL or add in your store's name or any other information. So what you want to do is read these policy pages word for word, line for line, and make sure that all of the information is correctly provided. All of the information where it needs to be edited is actually edited. Otherwise, you're just going to not get approved for the Google Merchant Center account. And again, this was the second biggest game changer that I personally noticed to getting more Merchant Center accounts approved. Let's move on to tip number 3, and that is the ways of communication that you provide. Back in the day when Shopify was easy, when Google Ads was easy, all you really needed was a contact us page with an email address and that contact us form, and that was basically good for all advertising platforms. Nowadays, if you have just that, you're most likely not going to be even approved for the Google Merchant Center account or for Google Ads. And even in Facebook Ads case, it may cause you problems later on down the line. So here is what I recommend. Not only should you have a valid email address on file on your website mentioned on multiple pages, but preferably you should also have a phone number. And this doesn't mean you have to provide your personal phone number. You can use free applications like googlevoice.com. I use a paid one called openphone.com, and no, OpenPhone does not sponsor me for this. It's just what I personally use and what I've personally found results with. But having a phone number does wonders, because not only does it help you stand out of the crowd, but it also proves your trustworthiness in Google's eyes, which is exactly what we want. So make sure to have a phone number along with an email address mentioned on multiple pages. And the third one, if you really want to go above and beyond, is to have a physical address on your website. Now, this doesn't mean, again, that you put your personal physical address where you live, but you can buy one physical address online, or you can have a PO box address which you provide, and all of these work. But this is just an extra step. I don't really do this personally, but just in case, if you want to do it, feel free to do that. That can only increase your chances of getting approved. But this brings me to the 4th tip on my list, and this is a very short and simple tip. It's basically related to social media. Nowadays, having a social media presence is extremely important, and if you already have a Facebook page set up and Instagram page set up properly, but also with a few followers, it's going to do wonders with getting your Merchant Center account approved. Now, keep in mind that the Merchant Center approval process is not done by a real human. It's done by the algorithm and by a bot. But even in that case, if the links are present on your website, and maybe you have posted a few products on your social media pages directly linking back to your website, that could be counted as a backlink, and Google is going to be able to crawl through that, is going to be able to note that down, and that can only benefit you with getting your Merchant Center account approved. So what I recommend is having social media channels set up properly, but in addition, post a few things on there. Make sure you have a few followers on there. You can ask your friends or family members to follow, or you can even buy followers, maybe even 50 to 100. It doesn't really matter. The main reason why we're doing is prove to Google Ads that we are a legit and verified business. We're not just somebody who's in here to scam our customers. And that is exactly what Google wants. And that is exactly why the rules have become so strict for a lot of us dropshippers. So that's tip number 4. Have an active social media presence and at least have a few followers on there. But this brings me to the final tip that I have for you guys, and that is related to the shipping and the general settings. When it comes to the Merchant Center and Google Ads and Shopify itself, you want to make sure that all of the settings across the board are the exact same. So when you're signing up for a Merchant Center account, you put one address in. Make sure that is the same address used for the Google Ads account as well as your Shopify store. If you have one address on the Merchant Center, another one on the Shopify store, that can be counted as misrepresentation, and that can actually cause you more problems, because that is going to be a little bit suspicious to Google as to why you have 2 different accounts when you're using both of these for the same purpose. So in order to avoid that, always make sure to have the same settings throughout all of these different platforms. But in addition, when it comes to setting up stuff like shipping settings or general information that you need to sign up for a Merchant Center account or a Google Ads account or a Shopify store, make sure all of that matches. For instance, one of the easiest ways to get suspended on the Merchant Center is to not have accurate shipping settings, and then when Google crawls through your website, it notices one shipping setting, but then on your Merchant Center, it says something completely different, and that is a cause of misrepresentation because your shipping settings are not properly set up. They're both saying something else, and that is an easy way to get suspended. So make sure not just shipping, but generally all of the settings match. All of them are the same. But this is my top 5 tips for you guys in order to find better success of getting your Merchant Center approved. Again, as I mentioned in the beginning, if you're looking for more help or direct one-on-one mentoring with Google Ads, I currently do take on students to offer mentoring, and I personally work with them to achieve the results that I personally have achieved and to teach the strategies which have helped me achieve those results. Just send me a message on Instagram at DedicatedYoung or leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you guys. But if you found any type of value in this video, smash that like button and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.